Hello buddy, what is up? This is Electrify here, and welp, new upgrade, new equipment. Alas, after waiting for 3 whole months, I can finally start using a better editor than this abomination on my iPad. I mean, that editor was alright, but it had way too many glitches, and it seemed like I was probably way too out of the league on that app. So soon I'm switching not only my editor, but a new microphone as well. Possibly on my next videos, I'll switch my editor to Sony Vegas Pro and After Effects, and for recording audio, I'll switch this headset into the Blue Yeti microphone. That way, I can make videos professionally without having to render them without any glitches of sorts. Also, now that I'm switching from iOS to PC, I can also live stream Geometry Dash now. Once I get my hands on GD on Steam, I'll definitely try to test out OBS for streaming, and I'll try to interact with you guys more. But with that being said, here's the video. Although making and producing entertainment for 2.2 news and discussions with added commentary seems tiring to do on iOS alone, and the fact that editing is a pain to do on iOS as I mentioned, people have been now labeling myself that I quote-unquote milk 2.2 for views. I can see the case, but I don't really want to be in that route or state, but at the same time I really want to discuss more news about the updated 2.2. So to keep things balanced, I'll try to separate this type of content for now, and I'll wait for more revealing stuff that RobTop has revealed, instead of making 50 videos about 2.2 in a month, or something like that. So yeah, this is possibly going to be my last 2.2 video as of now, but once I get a pack load of notifications about the upcoming update, I will strive to chunk out more goodies for you viewers out there. And so what I plan to do is to exchange my viewers to some of these topics and have them explain so far, whilst pinpointing every single feature that RobTop suggested. So strap your seatbelts and get ready to hear me talk about even more miscellaneous features that you guys probably didn't even know about. The first alarming event that occurred is that RobTop literally has Discord now. I'm not even joking when I said that. Okay, so let me explain. A while back, RobTop had solicited that he had never had Discord or been with anything in relation to Discord. At a surprising turn, at the 8th of March, he literally joined Geometry Dash mod Discord server, which by the way, I was banned for no reason. I'll explain that in another video next time, and told the audience a few exciting notes. The first instance of the things he had mentioned is a second icon contest. Yes, you heard me correct. Ladies and gentlemen, RobTop has announced a new icon contest for Geometry Dash 2.2. I was actually in the chat when he had explained the whole craze, but I literally forgot to screenshot it. But yeah, luckily moderators identified his message to go see, so go ahead and take a shot at finding it. But yeah, this is somewhat pretty stunning to see now, and it's been long gone since we've had the first one. So yeah, get ready to rumble, open up Photoshop, Illustrator, whatever you have, I don't even know, and start drawing down ideas for creativity, because RobTop would soon select and insert some creative icons to be available in the new update of Geometry Dash. New max object limits. Yep, RobTop upgraded the max amount of object uses we have. So for the new update of Geometry Dash 2.2, we have new options for object limits. It can range from a whopping 40k, 80k, and unlimited. Holy crap, unlimited? Yeah! We have unlimited objects on Geometry Dash now. This is huge because now we don't have to deal with object limit hacks anymore, since RobTop has accepted to be implemented onto Geometry Dash. However, the real concerning issue is that many players are afraid that levels are going to have way too many objects on a single download, to the point where PC players are going to run over mobile players. It's really abysmal, but the only thing we can do is just hope and pray that mobile players don't have to face with this huge disadvantage against the PC side of things onto Geometry Dash, especially where we are heading to right now with 2.2. Another hack that RobTop has accepted onto the community is the FPS bypass. One word for this? Yes, holy crap, this is a huge step up onto Geometry Dash for the people under the 144Hz category, because it can improve on ways underhanded people can be stacked around with professional players with a higher ability. I see it as a fantastic balance between 60Hz and the rest of the other refresh rates, and lets other players take chances on succeeding levels way more efficiently. Unfortunately, this is only on Windows and not for every other platform, which I can understand why. Android would also probably have been another alternative option for a FPS bypass, but that may be a little bit too much. On top of that, days later, RobTop stated that the new feature will reach a limit to a whopping 9,999 frames. Damn. One complaint that I have for this kind of featured onto the game is that it may overclock onto people's computer and damage it badly, which is going to be a huge problem. Other than that, hindsight, I don't think RobTop would attempt to damage other players' PCs like that. I mean, like, why would he? Anyways, I would love to see this being added onto Geometry Dash as a great balance between types of players. Loading bars. I know how much we all love loading screens, is that right, RobTop? Well, apparently so, because RobTop implemented a new loading bar onto levels now. On 2.2, we're getting a loading bar whenever you try out a new level. According to RobTop, this is extremely necessary to avoid confusion to players, as people would assume that their game was crashed or froze on a high object level, especially with lower end devices like my incredibly lagging iPad and my cheap Android phone. This isn't totally mind-boggling or anything, but I can see how this is convenient to users below the PC space, especially with really low types of RAM that aren't used to loading things efficiently. I would give this a solid passable feature and sounds promising. Like I said, not the best feature, but I don't see any problems with it either, so good on you, Rob. Also recently, actually really recently, on March 15, RobTop gave us new notes to diagnose onto the new particle editor that he displayed a while back. According to the 2.2 Wiki, RobTop says that particles are now 70% faster. Again, not the best feature we've seen, but it's really neat to see RobTop give out more in-depth look and details about what we have in store for what we saw earlier with the whole 2.2 particle editor craze. On top of that, he announced a mid-air bug fix that happens within the game. I don't know exactly what he sequentially states by this, but what I'm theoretically guessing from this is fundamentally a bug that happens within transitions and portals. On mid-air, when you hop into different transitions, you'll often bounce up out of nowhere and quickly crash onto a spike or a saw blade, or anything really. I've never really had this bug happen to me, but it's probably because I'm a 60Hz player. But if anyone else would like to explain to me what RobTop is talking about on this topic, you guys could definitely let me know about this. But for now, I'll leave it be. The final news that we have for now is that RobTop finally optimized the game. This is another obscure feature he announced because not only was it abrupt, but it can lead into misleading conclusions. Like, I mean, what does he mean by that? My best guess for this case and structure is for any players, including for mobile and PC, can play levels thoroughly without having to lag in certain bits. If this is the case, then I would be more than glad to have this feature on me, this also explains why he put out the unlimited object limit and the FPS bypass as well. All those three features explained today are really important to me especially, and to others with lower end devices. It just makes the game a lot more balanced to other people, and don't have to be left out of the community for being on mobile and outcast. This makes things like challenge mode a ton less problematic, considering the fact that the mobile players are underneath the PC platforms. This is what makes the game more playable and fair, and just fundamentally and practically kibitzing. Now we are drastically getting to the point where the game just messes up on its own, and whenever we fail at something, whether we lose our progress or save file, we can't blame that to ourselves anymore. I mean, the game is slowly becoming more of a mess, so seeing performance fixes and features come into play for the next update is surely a feature I'm definitely looking forward into. Well, that wraps up everything that we need to know so far about the update of 2.2. What we've gathered so far in this video is that we have performance issues fixed, performance features, more in-depth look on the particle editor, RobTop's Discord, loading screens, bug fixes, another icon contest, more gauntlets, and a new unlimited object limit. Thanks for tuning in on to this week's update news on 2.2. I won't make as much as I do now because I don't want to milk the subject of 2.2, and I want to stick onto more commentary videos on YouTube. But I can tell you what, this update has an abundance of content and features just waiting to be revealed onto us. And of course, my theoretical guess about the update of 2.2 is still going on. Also, like I mentioned, I will upgrade my setup on YouTube soon, as my videos will soon look crispier and better, and I can also start streaming soon. But with that being said, what do you think of this? Do you enjoy these new features? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, like if you liked the video, subscribe if you like some of the videos and you're interested for more, and I'll see you guys then. Bye bye.